Hello everyone. In physics classes we are doing first unit of class 12, that is electrostatics. And nowadays our current topic going on is Gauss law. Gauss law was saying that the electric flux of a closed surface is equals to 1 by epsilon times of the total charge contained inside that surface. We have discussed the Gauss law, its proof, its verification, and now we are doing its applications. In our last class we have discussed the electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged spherical shell. And today we are going to find out electric field intensity due to a non-conducting charged solid sphere. It is second application of the Gauss law. Means with the help of Gauss law we are finding the electric field intensity due to various shapes, which is very complicated to find out with the help of superposition principle. So Gauss law is very helpful to find out these electric field intensities. In previous class we find out for the uniformly charged spherical shell. Today we will find out it for a solid sphere. If you have listened that video carefully, then you get to know that the first two cases, when we were discussing that electric field intensity outside the shell, it will be same for the outside the solid sphere. At the surface of shell, it will be same as that we have already discussed at the surface of spherical shell. So first we will discuss these two cases. Then we will discuss the case inside the sphere, because the shell, inside the shell, hollow portion was there, that was a shell only, but it is a solid sphere. So the only case will change inside the sphere. Outside case and on the surface, that will remain same for solid sphere as well as for spherical shell. So it will be a revision for you. The two cases are very same. Let's just start with the case outside. Suppose we have a solid sphere, okay, which is uniformly charged. Total Q charge is there. Capital R is the radius of this sphere. We know for calculating the electric field intensity at various positions, we need to choose Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface for this sphere. We have chosen another sphere, a bigger sphere having radius small r. Okay, this is Gaussian surface for which we are going to calculating the electric field intensity. Why we are choosing Gaussian surface? I have told you this thing earlier also, that because it's a formula according to Gauss law. The flux is given by this formula. In this thing we need to find out the area of a closed surface. That's why we need a closed surface, and that imaginary surface which we are considering for calculation of the electric field intensity is known as Gaussian surface. Okay, so let P is the point outside this sphere at which we need to find out electric field intensity due to it. Okay, so at P we imagine a solid sphere. Of course, it will be same at every point. Electric field intensity at every point on this surface will be same. So we have chosen an arbitrary point P. At this point P we have chosen a small element whose area is ds, and electric field intensity due to this, it is a positively charged solid sphere. Electric field intensity will be in this direction. And second thing, area vector. So many times we have discussed this thing. If you are listening this video first time, then please have a time for those videos in which we have already discussed area vector, electric flux and Gauss theorem. Okay, then the direction of area vector for this small element having area ds is n vector perpendicular to this surface in the direction outside from the sphere. And from the picture it is clear that direction of E and area vector, electric field intensity and area vector direction are in the same direction. Angle between them is 0. And according to the definition of flux, Flux is equals to close integration of E dot ds. E is the electric field intensity, ds is the area vector. Dot product is there, means when we open this dot product we get E ds cos theta. Theta is angle between the direction of area vector and electric field intensity. That is 0 here. Okay. And according to Gauss law, flux is given by 1 by epsilon times of the total charge contained inside the given shape, given surface. And here total charge is Q. So this thing equals to Q by epsilon naught. Now angle between E and area vector is 0 degree. I have put this value. Okay, cos 0 is 1 and E for this particular point is fixed. Because integration we need to do and D is with S. So integration of area will be done. E will treated as constant. It will be kept at outside and integration of ds is equals to Q by epsilon naught. Because for this sphere total charge is Q. Okay, now ds for this surface, Gaussian surface, who is having radius small r. Because at P we need to find out the electric field intensity. So for this surface the area will be equals to 4 pi r square. So E into 4 pi r square is equals to Q by epsilon naught, and E will be equals to this 4 pi r square will move to right hand side in the denominator and we get E is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r square. This thing we have already done in the topic when we were finding the electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged spherical shell. So this case will remain same. Either it is a solid sphere or it is a spherical shell. Okay, so this is same and this result is also same as that of a point charge. For a point charge, electric field intensity is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon r square, where r is the distance from the point charge to the observation point. The same is here. Okay, so this is the electric field intensity outside a solid sphere. This is also a revision for the previous topic. Now, on the surface of the solid sphere, means if I want to calculate, suppose this is my new point P dash. On the surface if I want to calculate it, the procedure will remain same. The only difference will be that R will be replaced by capital R. Otherwise everything is same because total Q charge is here also and in previous case also. Okay, now the only change is this distance. Now R will be replaced by capital R and this will be followed as, and we get the result E is equals to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. This thing also we have discussed in our previous topic. So this is about the electric field intensity outside the sphere and on the surface of sphere. Now I want to calculate electric field intensity inside the sphere. In previous case, when we were having shell only, this thing, charge was uniformly distributed on the surface of shell. So inside no charge was there. E dot ds is equals to Q by epsilon naught. If Q is 0, that means flux is 0, electric field intensity is 0. But in the solid sphere, we are saying it is a charged solid sphere. So inside it charge is also there. Okay, now we want to find out electric field intensity inside the sphere. We know rho is equals to volume charge density, which is given by charge per unit volume. Volume charge density is given by charge per unit volume. Its unit is coulomb per meter cube. This thing we have already discussed when we were doing the topic continuous charge distribution. Okay, now inside the sphere, of course this charge is going to be changed because capital Q is the charge for the whole sphere. Now we are taking a point P inside the, this is R, radius of the sphere, and now we are taking our observation point P inside the sphere. Again we need to choose a Gaussian surface. We are choosing a sphere having radius R. Okay, now at this point, of course, for this sphere, Q is not total Q. It is some less than. Okay, so now I am saying, suppose Q dash is the charge present in a sphere of radius r. It is a actual sphere which is given. We want to find out electric field intensity inside the sphere. Then this Gaussian surface, this sphere is smaller than the given sphere. So it will have some less charge than that of capital Q, than that of whole sphere. How can I calculate this Q dash? I know rho is the volume charge density. For a given surface, it will be constant. So if I want to calculate Q, how can I calculate? Q will be given by rho into V. Volume charge density into volume if I want to calculate charge. So I want to calculate Q dash. It will be given by rho into kV, V dash. V dash is the volume of this small sphere. Okay. So it will be given by 4 by 3 pi r cube. For sphere, we know the volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So this is Q dash. Q dash is smaller than Q. Capital Q is the charge on whole sphere and Q dash is the charge on this smaller sphere, as we are calculating electric field intensity on this smaller sphere. Okay, so I want to find out how much charge is present in this. So I can calculate it by using the volume charge density. Q will be given by rho into V. Rho will remain same for every point of the sphere. Volume will change according to the shape of sphere, size of sphere. Small r is its radius, so it is given by this. So this is the charge. Second thing, we know that flux is given by total charge upon epsilon naught. When we were doing the topic Gauss law, I said to you that the charge we are going to consider, that should be only that one which is inside the surface. Capital Q is charge of whole sphere, but because I am taking this smaller sphere, so I will take charge of this one only. Outside charge is not responsible for the amount of flux. Only the charge that is contained by the sphere inside is responsible. Q dash again. When we were finding the electric field intensity outside, we know that our sphere is present in free space. So absolute permittivity we were used for the air. But for inside, this solid sphere is having a material. Its medium is another than that of the air. So in replacement of epsilon naught, we are going to use epsilon m. Epsilon m is the absolute permittivity of this medium of which this sphere is made up of. Because this is not here inside, free space is not there. This is a solid sphere of some material. It is having its absolute permittivity that we are denoting by epsilon m. So the definition that flux was given by Q by epsilon naught is changed when we are calculating it for inside position. Charge will decrease due to its smaller size and of course epsilon naught will replace by epsilon m. Now applying the Gauss law, that flux is given by closed integration of E dot ds is equals to Q dash by epsilon m. I hope this point is clear to you, because Gauss law is saying that it is 1 by epsilon times of the charge contained inside the surface. We have chosen a smaller surface, so it will have a smaller charge, Q dash. And how much is this? This thing we have already calculated with the help of definition of volume density of charge. And also it is another medium other than of air or free space, so we are using epsilon m. Now for this surface again I am choosing a small element and this is having a small area ds. Again its area vector will be given by n vector, which is always perpendicular to the plane. Okay, suppose this is the surface, for it area vector will be perpendicular to this surface. Area vector will always be perpendicular to the surface, given surface, towards the observer. If I am observing from here, perpendicular will be there. This will be the direction of area vector. If I am observing from here, then area vector in the downward direction. Okay. And again, because it is a positively charged, so electric field intensity will also be given in this direction. So, if I am opening this, E ds cos again 0 degree is equals to q dash upon epsilon m. Cos 0 is 1 and integration will be done for area. So, E ds is equals to q dash upon epsilon m. Now, ds is the area of this small element and its integration. Integration means addition. Addition of what? All the smaller areas. If I will consider all the smaller areas and I am adding them, then what I get? The area of this total sphere, the smaller Gaussian sphere. So its area will be given by E into 4 pi r square is equals to q dash upon epsilon m. Now from this equation, I get E is equals to q dash upon 4 pi r square epsilon m. Now putting the value of q dash, this one, so I get 4 rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube upon 4 pi r square epsilon m. Q dash is given by this much amount, rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube upon 4 pi I r square epsilon m. Now 4 pi r square r cube cancel, we left with r. Okay, so now I left with, in the numerator, r and rho. In the denominator, this 3 will come into the denominator, 3 into epsilon m. So this much is the electric field intensity inside the solid sphere. Outside and on the surface will same as that we have already done for the case of spherical shell, but for inside, because the amount of charge is changed and the medium is changed, so absolute permittivity will also change. Okay, so by calculating this thing, we get electric field intensity is equals to rho r upon 3 epsilon m. The formula is same which we have applied. The only change is charge and absolute permittivity. This thing will remain same. Q dash we have calculated by the definition of volume charge density. Rho will remain same for every point of the sphere. Okay, and Q can be calculated by multiplying rho into V. This thing we have used and we have calculated the value of Q dash, which we have substituted here, and I get this value. Now I have mentioned one more point, fourth point, at the center of sphere. If I want to calculate electric field intensity at this point, O point, at the center what will happen? Our radius r will become 0. For the center, this r will become 0. If I am putting r is equals to 0, then E will be 0, because 0 into anything will remain 0. So E will be equals to 0. So I have calculated 4 positions. Electric field intensity at 4 positions. At the center it is 0. Inside it is rho r upon 3 epsilon m. R is the position where we are calculating electric field intensity. Outside it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Okay, and at the surface it is q by epsilon naught r square. Again, out of all these 4 cases, this value is maximum. This value is maximum. Now suppose I want to draw the graph as we have already drawn in the case of spherical shell. So what will be the shape? Let's discuss the graph. On the x-axis, we were taking the value of r, and on the y-axis we were taking the value of E. At the center, when R is 0, electric field intensities are also 0. From the fourth case, now this is the condition when R value is capital R, means below it R is less than R and above it R is greater than R. This is the condition for inside and this is the condition for outside, and this one is the position on the surface. Electric field intensity is maximum on the surface. So on the surface, this much. On the surface, electric field intensity is maximum. Outside, we have already discussed yesterday also, so the graph will remain this, because E is inversely proportional to R square. E is decreasing as R is increasing. This is E. E is decreasing as the R is increasing. Now for inside, from this formula it is clear that E is directly proportional to R. Means E will increase if R will increase, E will decrease if R will decrease. They are directly proportional to each other. They will follow the straight line equation. Okay, so it will be a straight line. Means inside the sphere E is directly proportional to R. As R is increasing from 0 to capital R, electric field intensity will increase using this relation. At the surface, when R is equals to capital R, its value is maximum. And outside, when R is increasing greater than the radius, then it is inversely proportional to R square, so it will decrease like this. In the spherical shell, it was the graph like this. It was 0 inside the shell, outside it was again inversely proportional to R square. But here, in the case of solid sphere, electric field intensity will increase as the value of R is increasing, and at its center, electric field intensity is 0. So this is comparison of electric field intensity due to a shell and due to a solid sphere. I hope these two topics are clear to you. These two cases are very parallel, very similar as that for the spherical shell. So for today, it's sufficient. Thank you.